It's another Micro Action Monday on Studio Class. Hey Divas, this Micro Action Monday is about communicating your offers. I think if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you know that my coaching framework when it comes to our music businesses is about what are your offers, who are your clients, what are your systems. Trying to keep it real straightforward, but your offers are what are all the verbs you want to get paid for, right? What are all the verbs you do get paid for? So we're thinking about things like I teach, I perform, I record, I compose, whatever, you fill in the blank. And I want to help you communicate your offers more efficiently. Okay? So we're thinking about what are these ways. So we're going to go in through a list of things that I want you to do when you're thinking about communicating your offers. The first one is about attracting and connecting with colleagues, commissioners, clients, collaborators, whatever it is, you know those, we're talking about the people. Here's your people stuff. We got to attract and connect with them. And so this is a little bit more of our email newsletter side. This is a little bit more of our social media side. This is about being out in the world and communicating our story. So this might be being on panels. This might be presenting workshops. This might be when you're doing a sort of masterclass situation, whatever it is. So you're attracting and connecting by sharing your history, by sharing, this is kind of like your bio, this is your credentials, and your social proof. So you're showing that you have expertise and you're building trust. And so this, like I said, this is about kind of like the putting it out in the world. This is our indirect marketing side, where we're putting out the fact that we have these experiences, sharing past performances, recordings, pictures, video, whatever it is that you have, sharing that so that you can show that you've built expertise over time. You have this social proof so that people can trust you more with the things that you're working on right now. I want you to think about your signature service. I want you to think about what's the primary offer that I want to get hired for. You might have a bunch of them. Honestly, you might have one that is, dog sitting, for example, but that's not the thing that you're putting on your website right now that you're trying to get hired for. So I want you to think about what's your signature service so that you can focus on that, so that everything on your website through your materials suggests that that's what you do. Okay? So for example, I perform a lot of new music, and that's because that's really my signature service. That's where I shine. And I still perform a ton of traditional rep, and I will take early music gigs because I love them, right? But the thing that people hire me for the most is new music, and you'll see that reflected throughout my website, throughout my materials, because that's the area that I do my signature work in. When we're thinking about getting more gigs, getting more clients, right? Also, especially if you're running like a teaching studio, I want you to think about an outcomes and results page, or as you're trying to attract students to work with you, what are some of the outcomes or results that they could expect? Clearly list out what they'll receive or gain or achieve after they work with you. You'll see some of that, especially if you come to like my coaching page on my website, you'll see that here are projects that I've helped creative artists work through, and this is what's happened. Like, this is the feeling that they've had afterwards. This is the transformation that they've experienced, right? Same thing for on my performing pages, right? It's very clear what the outcome is going to be. I'm going to perform these pieces. I'm going to do this work with you. We're wanting to show social proof, right? This idea of you can trust me with the work that you want to do because I have experience doing this in lots of different ways. And I said that in the attract and connect part, but if you go to your website and you want to be able to show I've done previous work or I have this portfolio, but I really only want you to include the work that you want to be hired for going forward. So if you have work that's irrelevant to what you want to be doing going forward, it's okay to let that go. It's okay to put that behind you, because remember, we don't want to confuse people about what you want to be hired for. So I get this a lot with clients who are, especially like composers who are wanting to write in a different medium, or they want to write for a different type of ensemble. And they come to me and they say, but I keep getting wind ensemble commissions, but I really want to write for orchestra. And I was like, well, all of your portfolios suggest that you only write for wind ensembles. So I get that, but we need to change this so that people are coming around to where you want to be working rather than where you have been working. Client testimonials, or just testimonials in general, can be very powerful. This is why, if somebody gets a blurb in the New York Times, their bio starts with it forever, right? Because testimonials, whether it's a review or a testimonial from somebody that you've worked with or a student testimonial, doesn't matter. That type of reinforcement of what you do from other people is very helpful for future clients and collaborators, right? It's the reason why Amazon has all those reviews, right? Is that you scroll through and you go, okay, I can trust from this smattering of 10 people who said that this was, the best ring light ever. But now I'm going to go with that. So same thing, ask for testimonials. Do this kind of regularly. Set this up as a scheduled thing in your calendar. Is reach out to past commissioners, reach out to students in your studio or parents, and reach out to colleagues that you've performed with in the past, reach out to music directors, whatever it is, reach out and say, would you provide a testimonial for me? Go through, pull any reviews, keep any reviews that you've ever gotten, pull quotes and put them into a Google Doc that you can just always add to, because it's great to go and pull from that whenever you need something. That if you have a review, you want to make sure that you're using it so that that's providing that social proof. One of the things that you might be interested in adding to your materials in this case is about your process, right? Especially on the commissioning side, especially on the teaching side or the coaching side. Your process is very important for clients because it helps outline what to expect. And so if they're wanting to work with you, but you don't have commissions open until 2025, for example, then you should probably let them know that now. But you can say, we can start the process now, right? And because we'll have this kind of talk, we'll have a meeting about what you're looking for. A first draft can happen about this time, right? But my schedule works in this way, right? My composition schedule works in this way so that you can get the first movement now, but I have something in between this where scheduling wise, the second movement is going to happen in 12 months from then or something like that. I don't know what your process is. That's why you're writing it out, right? If you come to my website, like I mentioned, for the coaching side, you'll also see a process there, because sometimes when I'm working with musicians and composers on the coaching side, they haven't worked with a coach before and they're a little nervous or unsure about what that looks like. So my process lays it out like, first you're going to do this. Then when we meet, it's going to be like this. This is why I ask for these kinds of things. You don't have to have this, or you do need to have these kinds of materials. After the process, you're going to get this. Like, this is how I invoice you. This is how this is going to happen. And that just makes it feel like you have a lot more control going into it because you know what to expect. Whenever people feel like they don't know what to expect or the process is unclear, they will even subconsciously just kind of back away from that situation because they are lost and they don't have the time or desire to figure it out on their own. So they're not going to pursue that with you. So keep coming back to your offers. Anytime you're working with someone where there's a timeline involved, great. Go ahead and put the process on your website or in your materials. Go ahead and if you have new students or if you have new coaching clients, for example, go ahead and make a welcome email and then tell them what the process is in that email. Woo-hoo! I want to take a heartfelt moment to thank Sarah and Josh for being part of the Sybaritic Camerata Listening Circle on Patreon. They're helping bring you this episode right now. If you'd like to join them, head on over to patreon.com/mezzo-Ihnen. That's MEZZOIHNEN. Now, let's get back to the show. I also like FAQs on your website for things, same thing, like studios and commissions. FAQs can be really helpful. Give them all, this is a great area to address objections, right? Do you think that you tend to lose prospective students or prospective commissioners by a certain point in the information or a certain point in the process? Address those ahead of time so that people don't feel surprised. And then they're going into it being ready to either negotiate or ready to commit. Also, share your other services. Oh, this is one. Okay. If you work in multiple areas, especially creatives, you do your performance work or you do your composing work, but you also do communications like social media marketing or something like that. I want to be able to recommend you. So this is just a personal request. Please find a way to also point people to that. If they know you in one capacity, but they also know that you do other work, can you please point people to where they can find this same type of information, but for your other offers? Okay? Make sure that your other services are clear, right? Even if you split them out into different umbrellas, it's okay to do some, strategic redirects to the other services that you offer. If I'm on your website and I know that you have a teaching studio, right, but your website only allows me information about the performance side, and I go, that's great, I do want to know about that, but I need to be able to find your teaching studio, then go ahead and make some strategic redirects in there somewhere so that I can go, okay, now I can point people to this, okay? And finally, your call to action. I want every marketing material. I want every item that you have that is about interfacing with clients and collaborators to have a call to action on it. Whether that's book Megan for this gig or set up a coaching session or whatever it is, hire, so-and-so for social media services. I don't care what your call to action is, but I want to see it on every single page. If you get to the bottom of the page and you have not asked me to take the next step with you, it makes it so much easier for me to just go, okay, file that away in the trash or in recycling, whatever. So, okay. Does that make sense where we're going with this? I really want you to think about how you are putting yourself out there for the work that you want to do, how you're communicating your offers we're going to go through the list one more time. So this is attracting and connecting with your ideal clients. This is being clear about what your signature service is, sharing the outcomes and results that people can expect by working with you, having a very clear portfolio of previous work, sharing testimonials and reviews for that social proof, being clear about your process so people don't disappear on you because they're confused, FAQs, where you address potential obstacles or objections, some strategic redirects to your other services, and finally, a call to action on every single piece of materials. All right, divas, that's it. I hope you're enjoying your Monday and you are staying sparkly inside and out. Until next time. Thanks for joining me for Micro Action Monday. Again, I'm Megan Ihnen, and you can find me on all the socials at mezzo-Ihnen. That's IHNEN. Did you know that studio class is part of the Sybaritic Singer? It is. And if you liked this episode, you're going to love my 29 Days to Diva series. That's on SybariticSinger.com. And if you liked this episode, will you please consider leaving us a review on iTunes, Stitcher,